Hi, this is Terry from Fabric Junction, and I'm here today to show you how to play with prairie points. It's a great way to accent any quilt or project that you're working on. And as you can see, we have a variety of things available on which I added prairie points. Now, I need to let you know that there's two types of prairie points. One I call the traditional, and one that is the center fold. Both of them end up being the same size when you use the same size of fabric. Today I'm using a 4-inch square to show you the fold itself. Then I'll show you how to use them. So to make the traditional, we're going to fold it on the diagonal and press it. So it's a nice simple fold. And once again, we're going to fold it. What happens is all your raw edges are on the same side. And then that leaves the other two sides can be loose. We don't have to worry about them unraveling. There we are. There is what I call the traditional prairie point. If you want to do a center fold, we do it slightly different because we fold our square in half and then do kind of what it says, center fold. Take the folded edge, you want to make sure you have the folded edge, and you turn it down towards the raw edge. So now all your unsewn seams, the raw edge of your square, once again is at the bottom. You've created a fold in the center, press, and if yours doesn't want to stay, touch it with a little best press, and that'll help keep your pieces down. Okay, as you can see, they're the same size. So there's a couple things I need you to keep in mind. When you're working with these, when we're doing the traditional, they overlap. So if you're going to add them onto a quilt, and you want to figure out how many do I need to go down the run, you can divide it by, in this case these are 4s, by 3.5. If you want to overlap it more, divide it by 3. So you take the length, divide it by 3, that'll tell me how many prairie points I'm going to need for that project. So as you can see, I figured this one out. I spaced them since it's a small project and I knew I had an even number. I have 8. I placed my 2 in the center, I overlap them, I place my in the corner, then I evenly space the rest, and as you can see, I pinned them down. If you're having trouble getting them spaced, sometimes what I do is I just kind of double check. Okay, what's my distance? Oh, I'm a little, not quite a full 1.5 inches. So I go through and double check, and I'm measuring from here to here, so that my spacing is pretty consistent. When you're doing the traditional, I pin them so my opening is going to be away from where I am sewing. You don't want to have the opening going this way because then you're going to be butting up against that as you put it through the machine. So be aware that you want to have your fold, and we just kind of, I'll flip this one over. We just set them inside the fold like that. So that's how those go. So then you can take it to the machine. You've got them lined up. You've got them facing the direction you need them to face so that they won't keep jumping up on you as you're sewing them down. Oh, I didn't get it quite into the machine, so it wanted to grab. So as I go, I pull my pin, I double check. The red one is slipped underneath. I can just go right down. I double check that I'm lined up. And I'm going to stop right there. But you get the idea. So that's how you work with a prairie point that I call a traditional. Okay. The other one, the center fold, goes a little bit different, and a lot of times I work with a 2-color. And as you can see, let me show you my finished. I have a 2-color one. The fold is the front of your prairie point. So when you attach it, you actually attach it with the fold down, because we want to sew it from the back. Place them on your work. Once again, you know, this time you don't have to worry about figuring unless the size, because they don't overlap when you do your first one. So if 4 inches, I know my project's going to take this many. It takes 5 in this case because I used a smaller one. I'm getting myself a little confused. You can use any size. Maybe I didn't tell you that. You can use any size square. 4 I use on a lot of blankets. These are 2.5. Sometimes I use a 3. Sometimes I've used a 5. Whatever size of square I use, half that distance is this distance here. So this is a 4, this will measure 2 inches across. So that's the reason these look so much smaller, because I used a smaller one. And like I said, you don't have to use the exact same size all the time. Okay, to continue with the difference on using the centerfold. Once you have placed your first row, and this is what's going to be on the top once they're turned over, you take what I call the background one, find your fold, center it over the spot where those two meet, and pin. So as you can see, you're creating 2 layers with a front and a back, a very distinct front and a back. You do that all the way across, and you'll end up with, I've got my binding on here, it'll look like this. You'll be looking at the back side. And that's how you put your centerfold ones on your quilt, is you just find your place, and you'll notice that those will be touching tip to tip, and it creates a different look within your project. Okay, so now we have made our squares, we have put our squares on, and I'm going to show you the 2 techniques that I use to finish. Now these I learned long time ago from a gal that was an avid quilter, an older lady who has long since passed. But she's the one that taught me prairie points. So I have my batting, I have my back, and now I take my piece with the prairie points and I leave them all inward, and I put them on my piece of work. I do this a lot on my kids' quilts. I have done it on a couple of large quilts, but I generally use the other method on my large ones. So I have it all laid out, put a couple of pins in so it stays where it needs to be, and then I sew around the perimeter, leaving an opening so I can turn it. Once I have it sewn, and for expediency, I'm not going to go through and sew it all. I know you know how to do this part. I sew it right off the edge, all the way around, leave an opening. I come back and trim, and I cut a diagonal on my corners so it'll turn. And once it turns, all I have to do is sew that little spot closed, and then it can be quilted. You can hand guide it. I put it on the machine. When I put it on my long arm machine, I actually just attach where the prairie points are, and it lays out. And then this one was quilted after. This was put together, then put on the machine, quilted with this lovely design. The back looks like this. There's no sewing for me. Here's the little overlap. I didn't do a big overlap. You can have a bigger overlap. That's your choice. It's very, very flexible. But that is one of the 2 techniques that I use when I close, or when I use the prairie points on the edge. Okay, the other technique, you got a sneak peek, is I bind it. I use a narrower binding, anywhere from 1.5 inches to 2. I put my binding on the top, just as you see here, around the corner. The difference is when I turn this, normally we turn and we'd have like this. And you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I like to do this, and there goes my prairie points. There they go. You can hand stitch it down if you want. A lot of times when I stitch it, I just use my machine and I'll have a seam there, and I can show you on this one here how I just flipped it over, sewed it. So I do have a seam here. If you don't want that seam, hand tack it down by hand. Either way. But this creates another different look using the prairie points, and you can see my cute little strawberry on the top. The red is just pokes out right behind it, and it creates a nice different look. Anyway, those are the two techniques that I use when I have to do a finish when I put prairie points on the outer edge. But you don't have to put it on the outer edge like I did with this runner. I just put a few prairie points, down the side. Could have went the whole way if I wanted to. I could do this on a quilt. I haven't actually put the prairie points this far into a quilt, but I've seen it done. They can go either way. It's kind of a little obstacle when your quilter goes to quilt it or when you go to quilt it, but it looks fantastic. So here's a little one on here. Here's another one that I put on. This one's on a pillowcase. This one's got the traditional. It's on a pillowcase, just on the header, creating a beautiful, different finish on your pillowcase. With that, hopefully I've given you enough information that you'll try to do prairie points. Maybe you want to start off by putting 1 or 2 on a bag. Maybe you want to put it on the edge of a pillow. However you want to do it. But do enjoy making prairie points and how they do add to your work, change the work, and make it look absolutely wonderful. Thank you for watching us here at Fabric Junction. Check out our other videos and our website and our blog site, and enjoy the rest of your day.